future of finance is now. The concept and use of DeFi is to borrow and lend the crypto asset while making learning and money interest on your crypto asset. You can borrow between 50 to 75% of your crypto, the worth of your crypto asset. Now, here's the thing. Even though that is like the norm, you can borrow up to 90%. Some of those platforms allow you to borrow up to 90%. So it's not just 75%. All right. The rest is up to your imagination, and you'll earn APY on your crypto asset. Now let's get into this. Here's one of the special things about this whole DeFi thing, right? So let's say I take a crypto asset like Ethereum. I borrow against $1,000 worth of Ethereum. Now I get let's go with the 75%, right? Now, if you look right here on the screen and you see where it says power of DeFi, and you see this example where it says borrowing against a crypto asset, and then you have $1,000 times 75% with the APY of 5%, okay? So what this means is you take a crypto asset of $1,000 and you get $750 that you can borrow, right? Now, while your crypto asset is locked in the smart contract, it earns interest. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that the traditional way of banking. When you go borrow from a bank, they don't pay you any interest on your collateral. None. Zero. Okay? So if you lose, they win because they're secure either way, because you're paying the loan back and it's also secured by collateral. So either way, they win. You lose. In this situation, if something happens and you can't pay the money back, you still win, and who you borrowed from still gets the value of their loan back. Okay, so this means that you mess it up, all they do is liquidate up to the amount that you borrowed plus the percentage of that you're supposed to pay back in interest. Okay, but when it comes down to you going the traditional route, you lose altogether. This route, you win because you don't lose the entire value. But let's just say that something like you take your 750, you invest it in the market, you make more money, you pay your loan back. And another thing too, there's no penalty for the time that you pay your loan back. So this means that I could borrow right now and pay it back the next minute. Or I could borrow right now, and if I borrowed it for a month or a year, and then I decide that I want to pay it back in a week, I can do that with no penalty. You know, in a traditional banking way, there are penalties for paying a loan back that early, that fast, okay? So this is why people come up with all these methods when they use credit cards, or if they're doing bank loans and trying to pay it off at a certain time, because you know they don't want you to pay your loan back within a year's time. They really want you to stretch it out so they can make money off of the interest, you know? All right, so let's walk down through this power of DeFi. Now, as you see this diagram on the screen, you see where it says 1,000 times 75%, or 750 times 75%. You got 562.50 times 75%. Now, the reason for this, okay, the reason why I laid it out like this, because I want you to imagine that you want to make more money, right? Or let's just say that you want to have enough money where you can make a move of some sort, whether you're trying to buy a house, a car, you want to take a trip, maybe you have some dream of yours that you want to finance or something of that nature, right? So if you're going to do that, this diagram right here, where you see 1,000 times 75 or 750 times 75 and so on and so forth, what this is if you take $1,000, you borrow against $1,000, you get $750. Then you can turn around and take that $750 and borrow against it, get 75%. That's $562.50 that you get, right? And then if you turn around and you take that and do the same thing all the way down until you can't do it anymore, right? It comes out to a value of like somewhere around like 3,000 something plus dollars. So you done took $1,000 and you've turned this into almost $4,000, $4,000 just by doing this revolving borrow method, right? Now, the reason why I set this as an example, because I want people to realize that it's not just about the amount that you get the first time, it's what you can do, because there's a lot of different ways that you can maneuver to get more money and leverage all of this. And then the great thing is that you can pay it all back instantly, just like that, right? So there is a huge downside to this, okay? And when I say a huge downside, don't panic because it's not that type of deal. But the huge downside is if the market goes down, like right now, today is December 15th, 2021, and the crypto market isn't performing so well. All the cryptos are down, all the, the popular ones are down. So if you do something like this, it will actually go against your loan. So that means that because you're using a crypto asset, the crypto asset's tied to the market, right? So if it decreases in value, there is a threshold where, let's say, I think some are up to like 96%, some are like 80%, just depends on what you're doing. But once it reaches that threshold, then it'll liquidate the asset and then return whatever's left, if there's anything left, okay, with that. So that's the downside. So you gotta be careful with how you time the market and play the market when it comes to doing these loans, okay? So let's turn your attention to the screen again. And as you can see, this keeps going on as long as you want it to. DeFi unlocks your access to borrowing money whenever you need without having to go through any traditional banks. It allows you to finance anything that you want at your own pace, and you don't have to worry about how you're going to get the money, right? Because all you need is just to get a crypto asset. That's it, all right? So as I mentioned before, we're going to talk about the DeFi benefits, the use mechanics, and also the downside. So the benefits with DeFi would be you open, you don't need anything. You get access by creating a crypto wallet. It's synonymous. That means you don't have to prove a name, address, or provide a name, address, or personal information or anything like that, right? It's flexible. You can move assets anywhere at any time. No, you don't need anyone's permission to do that, okay? It's fast. The interest rates and the rewards update rapidly, and you can significantly get higher returns than on Wall Street, and it's transparent. Everyone involved can see the full set of transactions, right? By like if you go on Etherscan or something like that, or whatever platform you're using, like Polygon or something, they all have like a public record where you can go on a site and see all the transactions that people are doing, okay? You just don't know who it is exactly. Now, the use mechanics are lending. You can lend out the crypto, earn interest, rewards every minute, not once per month. You can get loans. That means obtain a loan instantly without paperwork. You can trade peer-to-peer, and that's only with certain crypto assets, and you can buy and sell stocks without needing any brokerage firms. You can do savings. That means you can put crypto in a savings account and earn better interest rates than from a bank, okay? And then there's derivatives. You can make long or short bets on assets, other crypto, like options or future contracts. Now, I know for you, you're probably thinking like, well, if we're talking about a loan, then why are you talking about derivatives? But see, this is what DeFi is. It includes all of that stuff together, and why this is so powerful, and especially by you being an entrepreneur, business owner, or somebody with a dream, and you want to finance that dream, this is it. Because now you don't have to go try to borrow money from your mom, your dad, your cousin, your uncles, your friends, or do something strange for some change. All you got to do is turn to crypto, use DeFi, and bam, you own just like that, okay? And all you got to do is just learn the basics, and you learn the basics and the fundamentals, then you're good to go, okay? So here are the downsides. You got fluctuating transaction rates. We're talking about gas fees. So if you're already familiar with crypto in some way, then you know that every time you do a transaction, you get charged a transaction fee, which is called a gas fee. Now, if you're not familiar with it, gas fees just simply means a transaction fee. It's just a different term for it. It's because of what it requires to keep the network afloat, all right? Because it's independent. And independent means that there are various people around the world who have networks, what they call nodes, and they maintain those to help the network stay decentralized, okay? All right, now let's talk about the top 25 DeFi platforms, all right? Now, all this is, what I did is I provided you the names of the top 25 DeFi platforms. When you get on these DeFi platforms, most of them are going to be alike in some ways, but they all generally offer something different because they have their own way of delivering the services, okay? And that's what makes them special and unique. So all you have to do is just go straight down through this list and you'll see who it is. And there's a lot more than 25. I just put the top 25 because it was so many, okay? So you can check that out yourself because you do have access, and all you got to do is just click on that link. So for those of you who are observing this on YouTube or anywhere else across the web, especially on YouTube, click the link in the description. It'll take you to this page. Click the link in the description. It will take you to this page, and everything that you've seen in the beginning of this video is what you will have and what you will receive, and you'll have access to it forever, okay? I'm not taking the page away, all right? So let's talk about the purpose of, go ahead and scroll this up. So let's talk about the purpose for this list. Now, the list, of course, is just to provide you with reference, but they're subject to change. So those top 25, there could be a new top 25 tomorrow, but more than likely it won't be, okay? Because most of these platforms are pretty well established. So here's the steps to DeFi, right? We have one, and this is real easy. All you do is you connect a crypto wallet, okay? And if you don't know what a crypto wallet, don't worry about it. I'm gonna tell you what it is, all right? The second thing is you're gonna purchase or transfer accepted crypto coins via the platform to send your to your crypto wallet. So let me explain this. So when you're using DeFi, you have to have a crypto asset, and it has to be an acceptable crypto asset, and that acceptable crypto asset is basically the coins that particular platform will accept for use on their platform, like Ethereum, USD, DAI, and there's several others. You go from platform to platform, you're going to see that some will have a very short list of coins, and some will have a longer list of coins, okay? It just depends on what network that they're working on. A lot of these are tied to Ethereum's network, okay? Now, the third step is you're gonna lend or borrow your DeFi you're gonna lend or borrow on the DeFi platform. So if you are trying to get money, you're gonna lend. If you wanna make money, if you're trying to get money, you're gonna borrow. If you're trying to make money, you're going to lend, all right? And it has those options, and it's very simple. So when you get on there, because I know you're probably saying, well, why don't you just walk us through it and show us? No, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this information that you have right in front of you, okay, it is a step-by-step, and all you have to do is go to any one of the DeFi platforms, which I provided you a list of 25, the top 25. When you get on there, it is very, very simple. And when I say simple, it's the same as like when you buy a new phone, right? You just click around and you find what you need and you instantly know how to use it. It's that simple. So you don't need a whole lot of like examples, click here, click there, because all you got to do is just click on the section that you want, whatever you're trying to do, and then it'll tell you, oh, all you need to do is connect the crypto wallet. Then when you connect the crypto wallet, put an asset in it. And then when you put the asset in it, boom, you're ready to go. That's simple, okay? So we have lending, we have borrowing, and let's talk about this super thing called a flash loan, okay? Yeah, come here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna feature someone who actually I just met yesterday, but they have actually used this and they can explain a little bit more about it. So let me tell you what a flash loan is in a nutshell. You don't need asset at all to borrow. And what you borrow is unlimited. This means that you can borrow any amount that you want, as long as, whatever amount that is in the liquidity pool. Some have hundreds of millions, some have billions, and some just have millions, right? But whatever that liquidity pool has, you have the full girth of that liquidity pool to borrow from, okay? And all you have to do is you borrow, you set up what's called a protocol stack, and then at the end, you pay it back. And it's considered to be one transaction. So I'm going to let Theo step in front and explain to you what it's all about.
All right, thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Theodore. I go by Theo. Now, my good friend over here just talked about flash loans over here. Well, there is a lot more that goes into it. We have simplified it a lot for you all to, just get a grasp of what all is going on the blockchains and in the crypto space going on right now. Now, with these flash loans, of course, you have to make a crypto wallet. You usually do it on MetaMask. That's the most used crypto wallet. Yes, there's many things that go on with the MetaMask. It's, Facebook and things with Metaverse and whatnot. But with the flash loan, you do need to have a MetaMask wallet. Now, I know a lot of people are go hunk and ready to hop right into it, but also you need to be educated when you step into the crypto space, because it is like the Wild West out here. The FDIC is not coming to help protect you or things of that nature, so you need to protect yourself. That comes with knowing the crypto space, building a community like we are here right now, possibly Discord, chat, meeting in person, whatever ways we can as a community right here. But yeah, you definitely want to educate yourself, and also, with security, external hardware wallet, things of that nature. But yeah, I'm gonna let him get back in on his flash loan.
Before you go, okay, so tell them your experience with the flash loan.
Oh yeah, well, I can tell y'all, in my personal experience with the flash loan, the first experience was quite crazy. My brother, who is behind the camera, he runs Northstar Entertainment and shoots his videos. We stepped into the crypto space, just gung ho like many people, but the first time always isn't the best time, and you learned a lot of things with the flash loan. So yes, you have a protocol like he mentioned earlier. So what you do is there's a mixer, but we can get into that a little bit later. But your flash loan, what you want to do, you get onto your laptop. Now, the thing that's so great about it, anyone can do this, because previous times you have to be attached to traditional banking, but now anyone can do that with a stable internet connection. So you get onto your internet browser, your laptop. You can even do it via phone as well, and you tap into your flash loans, and that's pretty much it right there.
Okay, so tell them about the when you went through the process, what did you have to do? Talk about the smart contract.
Okay, all right. So with the smart contract, now you have to be quite, tech savvy, because when you make a smart contract, a lot with the crypto space is about ownership. Now, how do you prove ownership? Is through the blockchain. So when you try to get a flash loan, you have to make a smart contract protocol. Now, once you make the smart contract protocol, you have ownership of that protocol. No one can take it from you. You have your save key and everything of that nature. So many of the opportunities in life, such as real estate and whatnot out here, it's already gone. It's already gone. It's going to be hard to get already. But with this decentralized platform, which are flash loans and whatnot, once you make the smart contract protocol, that is your first step to ownership within the crypto space.
Okay, so what is the protocol? Why do you need a protocol? Like, what purpose does it serve?
Oh, well, the protocol is more to tell the computer what actions that you want done. So let's say I know one flash loan that I personally use is Ethereum to BNB. So simplified terms, it is much like arbitrage, where you go to a Nike outlet, but you got the shoes for a lower price at Marshalls. Now you know you can get the lower shoe at Marshalls and go sell it at the Nike outlet for a bigger amount. So it's the same concept on the blockchain. So when you make the smart contract protocol, you're giving the computer a parameters set by you, and once it's set, you don't have to remake a new contract. You just have to provide it gas fees, like you mentioned earlier before. So that's a lot of problems that people run into with the smart contract, because you're thinking, oh, I can just keep clicking, and limited list amount of money, but it's not exactly the case, because you do have to have seed money, capital money to invest into the gas fees to reap those types of rewards on the blockchain. So that's a main thing that you want to get. Of course, everyone needs capital to make the initial investment.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it back to you.
Okay, so following up with what he said, so I'm going to define it a little bit more. So when he talked about the protocol, it's a series of actions that you set. Okay, so if you look at the screen where it says the flash loans, here are the steps to a flash loan. Step 1, you borrow the money. Step 2, you buy and sell crypto for a profit. Now that's where the protocol stack comes into play, is because what you're doing is you're going to create a command. Okay, you don't have to get all technical. It's already set up for you, because all you have to do is just click and say what you want. So you're basically going to go, I'm going from this platform to that platform to sell, or maybe you want to buy at a certain time and sell at a certain time. But either way, all you're doing is just giving it a set of commands, and on those set of commands, it takes those actions. So once you borrow the money, it goes through the protocol stack, and at the end of the protocol stack, it pays the money back that you borrowed, right? So basically, you have to settle out at a profit, because it's the only way that it's going to work, all right? So that's how that works. And then it's, of course, on step 3, you pay back the loan. So the steps to a flash loan are simple. 1, borrow the money. You already have to have a protocol stack set up when you borrow the money, because when you do that, you click go, it does what it does, and at the end, as long as it's profitable, you pay the money back, you make money. Now, should you not be profitable, like with whatever series of actions that you're doing, then it will dissolve, and the money will revert, the action will reverse, and the money will go back to the liquidity pool. So this is how they actually protect the asset, and why you don't need an asset to borrow on, okay? So now, as you can see right here on the screen, you see this equation that says LBEXP PBL. So all this means is it's you borrow from the lender, then you exchange, you make a profit, and you pay back the loan. That's pretty much simple, okay? Now, here is the thing about DeFi, all right? The gas fees are really high, all right? And when I say really high, they can be as much as, I've heard, they told me $60. But what I've seen, what I've done, is when I was working on my proof of concept, I was going through it to see how it works. When you transfer your money into the crypto wallet, and then you want to go, and I'm talking about the crypto into the crypto wallet when I say money, then you want to take that crypto asset and transfer it on a DeFi platform. When you do that, I seen that it could be between $260 to $430. So with the proof of concept, what I did is I estimated that you need about $1,400 to get started with DeFi. All All right. Now, for some of you, you may figure like, oh my God, that's a lot of money to be trying to start out with. But then some of you, $1,400 is not that much. So for anyone who has trouble processing having to start with $1,400, okay, if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, you already know that you got to get with the program and get some money, right? Okay. Now, with that being said, $1,400 is not that big of a deal. Because all you have to do is, if you invest in crypto, you will make money from crypto, and over time you will accumulate the $1,400 that you need in order to use DeFi. Now, you do not need $1,400 to use DeFi, but in order to make it make sense, let me say this, okay? In order for you to make it make sense, you need $1,400, and the reason being is for this. If a gas fee is between $260 to $430, let's say you have $800, right? Now, if you say, okay, I'm gonna take this 800 and I'm gonna borrow against 400, you're working backwards, right? Because you just paid 400 just to transfer 400. But if you take 1,000 and you need 400 to transfer the 1,000, now you're starting out much further ahead, and you have a lot more room to work with monetarily. This is the reason why it requires $1,400 minimum to use DeFi. Okay. Now, more than likely you can find a cheaper route to go and do that, but for the sake of this DeFi class and the proof of concept, I put this together so that way you have a understanding on how and what you need to do in order to make it work for you. All right. So I have the proof of concept right here on the screen. And as you can see, it says $1,400 baseline start entry for DeFi, roadmap to start with no money, begin with crypto, start with $100 minimum, right? And then you can start with $20. It takes longer, not as effective as with $100. Okay, so on the note, I wrote here, this is a repeatable process. And currently there's no limit to the use of DeFi. That means how much you can borrow, lend, and all that. It is completely up to your imagination and creative investing efforts. Educate yourself about banking to elevate your knowledge and know how to fully optimize your opportunity making money. Your efforts are your own. And let me repeat this again. Your efforts are your own. So this means you have to use your cognitive ability. Be creative so that you can make money, all right? And you're gonna have to exercise a lot of patience, because if you don't, you're gonna be like Crash Dummy and crash into the wall, all right? Now, let's go further. Now, the purpose and impact of starting with $100 minimum. You can start with any dollar amount. Reason recommended to start with 100 minimum is so that you can make a powerful impact, so that you can make profits. Now, what I'm saying about this, okay, I'm talking about if you don't have any money. Of course, in order for you to get crypto, you have to have some money. But when we say you don't have any money, you're working with very little. It could be $20, $50, $10, or in this case, $100. Now, I'm recommending that when you start out, that you start with $100, because I've invested little bits of money and made some money off the little bit of money. I've invested $100 and made a lot of money off of it. And there's a big difference between $100 and $10, or $100 and $50, and $100 and $99, okay? Because for some reason, the $100 seems to it expands the ability for the money to grow a lot faster, okay? And this is just in my observation and experience with, using crypto and investing in this, okay? Now, let's see here. We have, to use DeFi, you must use an acceptable crypto asset, which I've already mentioned that before, on the DeFi platform of your choice. Gas fees are high as F, and you know what that means. Therefore, you must dabble around with cryptocurrency, become profitable to make your $1,400 needed to effectively use the DeFi system. All right. Now, I want to impress upon everyone, it doesn't matter if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, or just someone with a dream, okay? The one thing that we all have had a challenge with is financing. Everyone. It doesn't matter whether if you're super rich or you're super poor. Everybody has had a challenge with financing, especially when you are trying to do things bigger than what you've done before. All right. Or if you have something that you're doing and you're trying to grow it at an exponential rate. So the only way for you to do that is that you have to turn to someone or something that will give you the backing that you need. Now, for a lot of people, we all want people to support us, but when someone is not supporting us, what do? Right? You might go get a job. You'll find different ways for you to get your own money, for you to do your own thing. But the problem with that is that you're by yourself. It takes an extremely long time and you struggle hard along the way. With DeFi, with cryptocurrency, it eliminates all of that stuff, okay? It basically, instead of you taking 10 years to do something, it may take you a year now to do it. Instead of it taking you 10 years, it may take you only 5 or 3 or 2 years, okay? So it shortens the length of time that it would normally have taken you years ago to get to where you want now. So instead of you taking 10 years to get to your destination, it may take you 1 to 3 years to get to your destination, and then you grow faster at an exponential rate, okay? So this is why you should be looking into DeFi, why you should be trying DeFi, you should be exploring it, experimenting with it, so that way you can make the most of it, all right? Now, right here, as you can see, we have where it says crypto wallets, all right, is what we talked about.